What's up guys, Ryan here from MudGunner, and today we are talking about my manufacturer warranty experiences. This is a fake gun. Or just any experience I've had with gun companies in general if I have to reach out to their customer service. So the reason why I'm talking about this is because I actually have to reach out to one of the companies tomorrow because I actually have an issue with one of my guns. So we'll talk about that in a minute. And this is going to be a somewhat quick video because it's like 11 o'clock for me and I gotta have this uploaded by midnight. I'm going to talk about just a few experiences I've had over the years with different companies. Everything's slightly different. Obviously, you're going to have your own experience with the companies if you reach out to them, but these are my experiences, and there's no particular order here. We'll start off with, don't get mad at me, Trijicon, but Trijicon, I got a free RMR from someone because it did not work. It was just straight up broken. Everything looked fine on it, it just wouldn't function properly. So, and then you know how it says like, warranty voided if sticker removed on the bottom? Yeah, that was removed. So it was given to me for free. This was like years ago. And I reached out to Trijicon. I'm like, I'm curious how much it costs to refurbish this or fix it. And I reached out to them. They had me send it in. I don't remember whether they gave me an RMA to ship it or if I had to ship it myself. But either way, it got to Trijicon. I would say like 2 weeks later, but I don't know the exact time frame, but within a month, 2 to 4 weeks, they got back to me and they said that it would cost $105 to fix and refurbish. And I'm like, I'm into it for nothing. So that's a great deal. I was like, yeah, done. I gave them my credit card number over the phone and nothing happened. And then 2 months go by and I kind of forget about it. Because again, this was a free RMR because it was broken. I wasn't like, oh my gosh, I need this done right now. And yeah, like 1 or 2 months go by and I pull up in my driveway one day and I'm like, there's a little box in my front yard, like this friggin' big. And I was like, what is this? And again, months have gone by at this point, so I didn't even know. I bring it inside and I open it. I'm like, holy shit, this is the RMR. I was never charged for it. It was supposed to get shipped to the shop that I work at, not my house, and I sent it from the shop. So I think what they did was when they took my credit card information, they also needed my house address. And yeah, they ended up shipping it to my house, but I never had any like warranty email thing. I never had a tracking number. They never charged my credit card. They just shipped it to me. So I basically got a free RMR. So don't tell on me. But this was a while ago. So Trijicon, don't get anyone in trouble. But that was a pretty cool experience. I mean, it would have been $105-ish for a free RMR, which not bad at all for refurbished ones. So that was my experience with Trijicon. As far as keeping it optics company related, a recent one that I did was I got a Steiner 1-5 LPVO recently. It was a used one, pretty beat up, and the turret caps were missing. So the elevation and the windage turret cap were missing, and you don't want that because they're not like locking turrets. So I mean, if they get bumped, they can move. I called Steiner, and within 30 or so seconds they answered, and within 60 to 120 seconds of being on the phone, I already had a tracking number in my email, which was crazy. So within 2 minutes of being on the phone, they already had me a tracking number for the replacement caps and they were free, which was cool. So I bought the scope used. I told him I bought the scope used and he's like, yeah, no worries. We'll send you the scope caps, no problem. Or the turret caps. So that was a really cool experience with Steiner. I was on the phone for less than 3 minutes total between dialing and hanging up, which was awesome. So that was my experience with Steiner. Pistol wise, this is a SIG airsoft gun. I don't think it's made by SIG, but SIG wise, I've never had to reach out to their customer service, but it's weird. I have a SIG Spartan 1911 and my girlfriend has the SIG P365 XL Rose, and both of those, the sights, the rear sights were pretty far off, like most likely shooting to the left. I don't remember exactly, but they were pretty far off and they needed to be reset. Our gunsmith at the store did that for me, so I didn't have to send it back to SIG. But that's my experience with SIG so far, is 2 of the 3 pistols I have had to have the sights switched, or not switched, moved over. But all the rifles I have from them, no issues. I have the 7.16 Precision, the Gen 1, which is a piston rifle, no issues there. I have the Virtus, I have the Rattler, no issues there. Well, I guess my Rattler doesn't like certain ammo, but I'm relating that to an ammo thing, not a gun thing. The gun functions flawlessly with good ammo. So yeah, SIG pistol-wise, I've had to adjust 2 rear sights, or had my gunsmith adjust 2 rear sights. Now keeping the tone of pistol, my Beretta M9A3, which is a really cool flat dark earth one with a threaded barrel. That one, when I first got it, I paid a premium. It was like $900 for a used Beretta M9A3, but they were so impossible to get at the time. That's like one of the few guns I've overpaid for. That one, everything was good, but when I took the thread protector off, because it's threaded for suppressor, to put my suppressor on, and I tried to put my suppressor on, it would not go on. The threads were like marred up, cross-threaded, I don't know. The thread protector would go on no problem, but my suppressor could not thread on. And I noticed that when I put the thread protector all the way on, it was kind of cockeyed, so like not perfectly straight. There was just like a slight cant to it. So I reached out to Beretta and I said, hey, I have this M9A3. The barrel's like cross-threaded and I can't get my suppressor on there. And I think I said cross-threaded. So I shipped the gun to them and then they ship it back. I don't know the time frame of this because this was like a few years ago now. And they ship it back to me and they said the gun is fine, there's nothing wrong with the barrel. And then this time when I took the thread protector off and screwed my can on, the can was straight up crooked. Not that much, but it was crooked to the point where first round it would have 100% baffle struck. And I emailed them again and I sent them a picture of what the suppressor looked like on the gun. I said, screw a suppressor on here and tell me it's not like messed up. And they basically took the gun back in and then they sent it back and they said, we replaced your barrel. But yeah, it was kind of annoying that it took me sending the gun 2 times. But again, it was threading, the thread protector was going on, but my suppressor could not go on the first time. And then the second time my suppressor was crooked, like just sideways. So that was my thing with Beretta. And one thing you'll notice, like a lot of these companies, these are like big companies that I'm gonna be talking about. And this isn't to like single out companies, this is just my experience. And the other thing about this is just a standard consumer experience. This isn't a YouTuber experience. I've never said, hey, I have this YouTube channel. At the time, I mean, I wasn't even big enough. I still wouldn't consider myself big enough yet. But yeah, this is just me reaching out as a normal consumer, not throwing my YouTube channel in their face. So yeah, these are normal experiences. So yeah, that one with Beretta, and I have the M9A3, shoots fine now. I can shoot it suppressed. It's not the greatest suppressor host just because it's gassy, but it is a good gun and I really like it. And it shot fine before, it's just I wanted to suppress it. Let's go to rifles. So, or I guess rifles. I had a Wilson Combat AR pistol. That gun was great. I've only had it on the channel like once. I don't have it anymore. I ended up selling it, but that one was a cool gun. So it was an adjustable gas block. It had a law folder on it from the factory, and it was an 8-inch barrel. It was my backpack AR for a few years. And I shot it a lot, ran it in drills and training and stuff. And over time, it was getting overgassed basically. And it had an adjustable gas block, but I never messed with it. But it was slowly getting overgassed and it was either short stroking or I forget whatever. But it was basically getting stovepipes and not cycling properly. I was getting like constant malfunctions. And I noticed, like normally on your rifle, your ejection port, you have your shell deflector and that's what's gonna get marred up over time. But the front, like at the very tip, well, I don't know why I'm clearing this. At the very front of your ejection port, it was getting dinged up. So the brass was like hitting up here in some form, and it was like marring it. So I reached out to Wilson Combat. They overnighted it to themselves, and it was like 130 bucks. Like I saw the price of the shipping label. They overnighted it to themselves, and they had it fixed within like 2 or so weeks. And when I got it back, all the silver like on that upper receiver, like the marring, it was gone. I don't know whether they like refinished it or gave me a new upper receiver. It looked to be the same one. But yeah, all the marring was gone right there, and then I never had any issues after that. And I mean, they had it for like 2 weeks and got it fixed. So that was a really cool experience with Wilson Combat. And again, these are big companies, guys. No gun is like immune from having issues. Like I mostly buy nicer stuff, but I still have had issues with nicer guns. Keeping it in the theme with rifles, Daniel Defense, I have a bunch of Daniel Defense rifles. I had a weird one. So I had a Daniel Defense V9 out at the range. It was a used gun that I bought. And most of these I buy used, guys. So it's not like I'm buying brand new guns and having issues. It doesn't really matter whether they're new or used because these issues can happen either way. But yeah, keeping it in the theme. So my Daniel Defense V9, I have a bunch of their rifles now, and this is the only issue I've ever had with any of my Daniel Defenses, but it was an odd one. So at the range, I would shoot, and every time I would shoot, the stock would move up a notch. And they're locking stock, so like you pull it to your spot, you lock it in place, doesn't move. But every time I would shoot, the stock would go forward a notch, and that was kind of weird. So I reached out to Daniel Defense. They said, oh, your stock must be out of spec. Send us your address, we'll send you a new stock. No questions asked. They sent me a stock. They gave me hats, stickers, like very cool experience with Daniel Defense. And then what else do we got? I can't think of any other companies I've had to reach out at the moment. I could be missing one. But there is one that I have to reach out to tomorrow. Like today's Monday. It's going to be probably midnight by the time this gets uploaded. But yeah, tomorrow I'm going to email Q, because if you guys watch my channel, I've had my Q Honey Badger for years. I bought it in 2018. I think I got the tax stamp back in 2019, so I would have had it in 2019. But yeah, this is one of the first gen Honey Badgers. I bought it or ordered it the second it was released. And I've never had any issues with it over the years, like never, still never had any issues with it. But I'm gonna show you a picture right now that one of my viewers, one of you guys called out in, I think, my recent 300 blackout maintenance video. And he's like, hey dude, your honey badger lower is cracked. And I was like, oh shit. Like I went and looked at it and sure enough, yes, it was cracked. So, oh, I do have one other story, but we'll go back to honey badger. So in the lower receiver of the honey badger, there's kind of like a flare. It's kind of like a cosmetic flare. It doesn't seem to be really important, but the flare is so thin that there's like a stress crack on each side of it. And it's right above the rear takedown pin. I'm showing you guys a picture at some point. And it's just cracked on that very, very thin edge. It's not cracked all the way through, and I don't think it'll crack all the way through, but I mean, obviously no one wants a crack in the receiver. But yeah, one of you guys spotted that, and I Googled it, and what's interesting about any issues with any company, right, is there is no like stories online that I could find of cracked honey badger receivers, but some of you guys have commented and said that you've had cracked honey badger receivers. So I thought that was interesting. It's obviously not ideal. I've had the gun, again, since 2018 or 2019. I definitely bought it in 2018, but I don't think I got it till 2019. But yeah, I've shot lots of rounds through it. If I had to put an estimate of how many rounds I have through it, because I've had it for years and I don't keep track, it's probably around 2,500 to 3,000. Now, over the years, that doesn't seem like a lot, but I have a lot of guns. I shoot a lot of different guns. And the honey badger is definitely one of the main guns I shoot. It's the main 300 blackout I shoot. And yeah, that's also a lot of money worth of 300 blackout to shoot through it. But yeah, 25 to 3,000 rounds is not good enough for, you know, a high-end AR like that. But with any of these companies, I'm never just pissed off at them like, what the hell, you know? I'm always willing to reach out and just see what they say. And this is one of the few times where it's like, I kind of want to ask them if, like, I'm curious how they'll warranty. I have to email them, send them pictures, whatnot. They don't just answer a phone call. A lot of these companies, they just answer phone calls, which is nice. I'm curious because it's a registered SBR lower, and there's no way to fix it. I mean, it's an aluminum receiver. You're not going to re-weld it or anything like that. So I'm curious if they're going to want to just replace the lower, and if they pay the tax stamp, because it's going to be a $200 tax stamp. I've heard some things where, and I don't know how true this is, guys. This is just gun shop talk. I've heard some things where if it's like a registered NFA item and they destroy it at the factory and rebuild it, they can use the same serial number. Is this true? I don't know. I'm just asking, but that would be kind of cool if they can just remake the same serial number because it's so old. And the other issue is I want the finish to match. Like if you guys watch any videos of my honey badger, I really like it. I like that it's kind of like the first gen, but yeah, I don't want a newer receiver and I want it to be the exact color match. So my other thing with this might be one of the few times where I might ask them. I don't think they'll say yes to this, but I would like to keep the lower receiver, see if they'll just warranty it and send me a new lower, whether it be registered or not, I don't care, and I can SBR it, and then just run my lower until it's done. Because I don't think this is an issue that's going to be like, oh, your gun's no longer functional. Like, I think it'll run for at least for a while. And I've heard stories over the years of a variety of guns cracking. Like, again, no company is immune from issues. Every major company, every small company's had issues. So I never am like, oh my gosh, that one gun had an issue, that company sucks. That's not me. I really like my honey badger too. So yeah, I think that would be really cool if they can go that route. If they want to just send me a new lower, I honestly would rather just keep mine until it breaks. I don't know, but I could assume they're like, well, that's a liability. So I'm going to let you guys know what they say because I'm curious how this is going to go down, but I have to email them pictures and see what they say. But yeah, I'd like to keep it and then just maybe get another lower. If they're willing to just send me another lower, even if I have to pay the $200, well, I don't really want to pay the $200 tax stamp, but if I have to pay the $200 tax stamp and keep my lower, I'd be okay with that. If they just send me a new lower and I get to SBR it when this one breaks, I'd be cool with that. But yeah, I don't know. They're probably going to want to just replace it and I'll probably have to send it in. So yeah, I'll let you guys know about that. While I was talking about this, I did think of another one, but this is not necessarily an issue that's like, I get why they said no to this. So I got a Noveske barrel for free because there's like a barrel pin on top to align it so it doesn't move out of place. And this Noveske barrel, someone bent it. I don't know how. It was just given to me. So basically not a functional barrel because you need that pin to hold it in place. And I reached out to Noveske and they said they couldn't warranty it. So it's not necessarily a problem where I'm like mad at them. Like, again, this barrel was free to me. I didn't pay anything for it. I didn't break it, but I don't know how you break that barrel. So yeah, they didn't want to warranty that. But other than that, I mean, every other thing I've ever reached out, I've gotten fixed in some form. I think the Noveske barrel is the only other thing. And I know, like, when I mention these companies, someone in the comments is like, oh yeah, see, they're terrible companies. I really don't think that's true. I have a full Noveske gun, and I like it. I've never had any issues, and that bending that little pin on top of the barrel, that could be complete user error, I don't know. But I assume if I had to send them my whole gun because of an issue, they would probably warranty it, but I don't have to because my gun works good. So yeah, I think that's all I wanted to talk about. I just wanted to let you guys know my experiences with some of these companies. I think these are the only companies I've ever had like warranty issues with. Now, us as a gun shop, we have warranty issues all the time from all the big brands you could think of, and we have to send it in. Sometimes people wait 1 month or multiple months, but yeah, normally if you buy a new gun, it's never really on the consumer unless it's complete user error, I don't know, but yeah, most of the time if you, let's say you buy a new gun and you have issues with it, at least how it works at our shop is we'll send it back for you and get it warranted and take care of it. Now, let's say 10 years have gone by, I mean, maybe we can't help you there, but most companies, if you reach out, they are willing to help you guys. I don't think any company wants you to just get stuck with a lemon. So my experience personally has been really good, I would say. I mean, never had any catastrophic malfunctions. And then I would say us as a shop, most guns get warranted. Like, it's very rare that a gun company's like, no, we won't warranty that. We did have one where this person, it was either a Radical AR or a Diamondback AR. And before you say anything bad about those companies, this person shot the wrong caliber in the gun and blew it up. And I think they replaced the gun for $200, which if you blow up their gun because you fired the wrong round, $200 is not a bad price to pay. And I think it's like a $400 or $500 AR. So yeah, that's one where someone had to pay. But again, paying $200 when you blew up the gun, that's whatever. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Comment down below with either your greatest gun experience from a company or your worst gun experience from a company. And I will let you guys know about my honey badger. And yeah, thank you guys for watching and stay tuned for my next video.